As a typical mountain biker, I'm always searching for that speed. We're known for throwing loads of money at super lightweight components, training extra hard, or even skipping a session in the pub sometimes.
Neil, I don't think you've ever skipped a session in the pub.
I think I did once in 2003 maybe. But something we're always looking for is trying to find the fastest way of riding down a trail. But are we missing the easiest answer? Are we riding the fastest bikes for the trail?
So, what we have here, 3 bikes, and we're going to put them to the test. We've got the Scott 29er, as you can see, no rear suspension, a ruddy great long stem, and a really low front end. Cross-country race bike. In the middle here we have the Scott Genius. It's 150mm, middle of the road, bit shorter stem, bit more travel, perhaps more of your all-day ride. And then lastly we have the Santa Cruz Nomad, truly gravity inspired. You got 165 rear travel, 160 up front, big tyres. You can see the bars are higher, head angles way slacker. So this is for really when it gets really rough and technical. Okay, so as you can see we've got the bikes. We've set up a trail. It has a little bit of climbing, single track undulation, and then a steeper descent at the end. It's not extreme downhill and it's not a cross-country loop. It's a good fair test that has a bit of everything, so we can really sort of find the weaknesses of these bikes and ultimately the fastest trail bike. That's for warm-up done. Hardtail first cross-country race bike. Well, that was interesting. On the climbs, it's so direct. Everything in the pedals just drives you forward. Obviously, the single track stuff wasn't too bad, but I definitely had a few moments in the last section where it's fairly steep. Found it hard to get my weight back as the seat's so high. Had to really be conscious to push my weight back, but definitely a fun bike to ride. You just got to be aware where you ride it and how difficult a trail you tackle on one.
Mid-travel trail bike next. I have got a secret little weapon here. I've got a lockout that I can use on the fly. So for the pedally stuff, I'll lock it out. Here we go. What a gear. So, mid-travel trail bike, still felt really agile on the climbs, still pretty fast, and definitely on the sort of single tracky, not up, not down, felt really, really fast. But on the descents, I'm starting to feel a little bit underbiked, but also more than that, it feels like your weight's starting to come really far forward onto the bars, where the slacker bikes, more aggressive bikes, more confidence inspiring, but great all-round bike, for sure. More aggressive, downhill orientated trail bike, more travel slacker. Let's see how it goes. Wow. So the long travel trail bike definitely feels that bit more sluggish on the climbs, but on the downhill side of it, it's definitely more confidence inspiring, more travel, feels like you're getting more grip. So do I make enough up on the downs than I lose on the ups? The clock will tell us everything really. Back in the pub now, so let's have a look at the times. Starting with the Hardtail, the Scott Spark, that comes in at 2 minutes 5. Moving on to the mid-travel Scott Genius, that is actually quite a lot faster, 1:57, so that's 8 seconds faster on the mid-travel bike. I guess that's to be expected. Surprising thing for me is Santa Cruz Nomad, the longer travel trail bike, is actually coming at 2 minutes 03. So it's not actually that much quicker than the Hardtail on that track, which is definitely a surprise, but that trail had a bit of everything, I guess more flat and undulating than downhill, but I'd expect that to be a bit quicker. But the obvious winner is the Genius, the mid-travel bike.
Yeah, by quite a long margin as well, I think it's fair to say. The real question is, with picking your trail bike, it's like you need to match it to the type of rider you are and the terrain that you have locally. So basically, you know, it's finding that match where you balance perhaps not to your strengths but to your weaknesses.
Yeah, definitely. You do see a lot of guys, someone who's maybe really strong climber riding a really lightweight bike, or actually they might be better off setting that bike up for their weaknesses, maybe thinking about sticking a higher rise bar on there just so their all-round riding ability is a little bit improved. But I guess it's a personal thing. There is not one fastest bike out there for sure. It's all about finding the right bike for you and setting it up for you as well.
That's a good point, Neil. You like not get too hung up on what bike you have, but kind of focus on engineering the bike that you choose, be it a hardtail or a bigger travel trail bike, to your needs and finding the best out for you.
Yeah, you can definitely play around with tyres, bars, things like that, and sort of play around with all sorts of bikes. But I think the biggest thing to remember is actually the equipment does make a difference to how fast you are, but the rider makes the biggest difference. So.
Good point, Neil. Talking of skills, why don't you watch some of our videos? So click up here.
Don't forget bike setup, Mark. We just talked about that. Click down there for those. And you can always click on us if you want to subscribe to GMBM.
It's free. Anyway, back to our pints.